Right, so we shall start at the beginning. So I'm joined by Andalusian singer and multi-instrumentalist John Serrano, and we've been playing out your track on the show called Oh Well. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're a multi-instrumentalist. When did you start playing, and did you start singing first, or did you pick up an instrument and then start singing?
Well, I think singing just happened because we didn't have a singer back when I was like 12 or so. I had been already playing bass guitar since I was probably 8, something like that. It's just been my whole life. Yeah, I started with bass guitar, then guitar, then singing. So it just stumbled across
Yeah.
my voice, I guess.
And did you go from the bass to playing what other instruments? Because you're a multi-instrumentalist. What other ones do you play?
Yeah, well, I'm self-taught, so whatever I could find, like keyboard, something I just learned to play it my way, and then it worked. So then I actually started learning music theory and all that, like after maybe 10 years into playing several instruments.
And do you, as well as doing all that, do you actually mix and record, or do you leave that for somebody else? Or are you doing that all yourself as well?
Well, I am actually doing that myself for most projects, but for I work with a couple bands and in some other bigger projects, and I did learn, but sometimes it just goes. It's just too much for me. Then I ask someone else to do the mixing and mastering process.
So tell us about your early years in music. Did you start off playing bass in a band, and then have you played in different bands and then gone on to do solo? Tell us about some of the stuff you've done.
Yeah, well, yeah, I started playing with, high school bands and stuff like that. We played Metallica songs and.
Right, so we shall start at the beginning. So I'm joined by Andalusian singer and multi-instrumentalist John Serrano, and we've been playing out your track on the show called Oh Well. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me today, and anyone else to enjoy my music, just myself and the listener. So yeah. When lockdown happened and COVID and all that stuff, I really went for it, and went for publishing and releasing all my music. It was a great chance.
And you built up like a backlog of stuff as you've been writing and writing and writing, sort of for years, and then you started to release it?
Not really. I think I was learning from all the time, learning how to use my DAW and learning music theory and how to actually play instruments before writing. Then writing just happens. When you are playing an instrument or two for 10 hours a day, you end up writing music, especially if you are not a great performer like myself. I can play songs in my way and all, but I can't play Bach or Mozart, that stuff. So I went for trying to express my own emotions, I guess, through what I can actually do.
When you write your songs, are you somebody that has to sit down and sort of concentrate, or do you get songs coming through to you all the time? So how does it work? Is it different every time you write something?
Well, it is. It is. Sometimes, it starts with bass guitar. I'm already recording at the studio, so it's easy to I like this part, so I'll chop anything else off and keep this and build on top of this. Then some other times I'm just a lyric comes to mind, and you start working on a melody to make sense out of it. So yeah, all the processes are parts of the workflow, I guess.
What genre would you say you write in? Do you stick to a certain genre, or do you really mix it up?
Well, I actually don't stick to any style or genre. I started with synthwave, a couple albums that went in that direction, but then I started releasing acoustic music, like this song we're talking about, Oh Well.
Yep.
And now I'm making a death metal album.
Yeah, called Rise. Rise is out on the 3rd. I've heard that. Yeah, completely different.
Yeah, it's totally different. I don't want I want to try everything. I want to find what truth lies beneath all those instruments. And trying to mix everything together would be a disaster. So sometimes, yeah, I need to make this one acoustic album, this one jazzy album, and go for electronica because I wish I could, but I don't know how to do that. No, so I go for different directions depending on my emotions and what I think
Yeah.
I can say that suits my needs and my listeners' needs.
And
Hopefully,
that's the good thing about being independent rather than with
right.
like a major label, because people who are, say, like Ed Sheeran or Beyonce, although she's done a bit of country music, she wouldn't really be able to go and do something like thrash metal, going from sort of
Yeah,
R&B. Whereas if you're independent, you can write and do what you like because you've got the freedom.
absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I'm super lucky that I get to work with Andrew Hartstone and everyone at Monochrome Motif, this independent record label, because they're super easy to work with. And they're on the same page, and they allow me to do whatever I want because they understand that music is an end to itself. There's no need to go for something else. It's just right there, and we enjoy that. So it's brilliant.
Do you ever feel that a song is gifted to you from the universe because it comes through so quickly? It's like, I almost didn't write it. Do you ever have that with certain songs?
Well, yeah, I write and release so much music that sometimes, yes, I do get that feeling that, well, I didn't write this. This just happened, and I was here. Was the channel for that. Just that. Yeah, I get that feeling all the time.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, I have a lot of music. I think I've had one musician I've asked that question that went, nope. Every other musician has said, yes, sometimes I write and it's like, woof, and it's, straight there,
Right.
fully
Yeah,
formed
yeah, yeah.
song. Yeah. Spiritual. I think they call it
Right.
spiritual. Um,
Absolutely.
what is the best lyric you think you've ever written? And
Well,
what's the
I
best
do
one?
believe it goes for this song. Oh well, because it's for my grandmother. It's a very special song to me. So every lyric on that one, you left so much love here. It just resonates with me because it's true, and
Mm,
and it's that song is just me trying to keep her on my side. So I'm choosing that one. Yeah.
yeah. And that's the one that we'll be ending the interview with as well. Oh, well. If you could work with
Yeah.
anyone at the moment, anyone, who would it be and why? If you could collab with anyone.
Well, that's well, I am super lucky actually that I'm working with many super talented independent musicians. So I want to say that I wouldn't change any of them for someone famous or extremely popular. With that said, I love Steven Wilson, I love Robert Fripp, and you know uh, there are many musicians or you know famous musicians that I want to work with, and I wish I could.
Right, so we shall start at the beginning. So I'm joined by Andalusian singer and multi-instrumentalist John Serrano, and we've been playing out your track on the show called Oh Well. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me today. I have done four full albums,
Yeah.
which are Summer of Pain and Electric is the second one, Alive, which is the third one, and soon after that one, I did a jazz album, which is called Blue. So those are the albums, and then
Mm.
I got thousands of EPs and singles and experimental things.
Yeah, and you just keep releasing. Is Oh Well going to be on another kind of EP album, or are you just going to keep releasing standalone tracks, or how are you going to do it?
Well, it kind of depends on what response I get from people. If I release this straightforward rock single and it doesn't have an impact, I'm likely to try something else because the main reason I'm not going to do pop music or synthwave because it's popular I want to do something that truly it's me, but also want to connect with people. So I'm likely just to hear what they have to say. And if people are listening to my electronic music and say, well, I really like this, but I want to see what's behind this, what the process is. So I'm just playing with my acoustic guitar. I'll make an acoustic album for you, and then oh well happens. So yeah, that's my relationship with listeners.
What's it like in 2024 to be an independent musician? And is this your full-time job, or do you have to work outside of this to kind of finance what you do?
Well, I think it's a great time, actually. If you're honest and you stay true to yourself, and it's easy to fall for AI music and easy money, and that's not the way, by the way, in my opinion. If you're honest and you're just you with your guitar or your MIDI program and your programming drums and what you hear inside your head and you put that out, it's a great moment. It's quite easy to connect with people who think like you or like the same things that you like. But also it has its downsides. Like we all know, like screaming into the void and all those feelings, but it's worth it. And yeah, it's a full-time thing, actually. But it's not like I get to pay the bills every month. So I'm a waiter, a farmer, everything in between. And sometimes I'm lucky. I get to play live shows and sell some merch and make a living out of that for 6 months straight. But then when the time comes, I'm a farmer, or I get to repair air conditioners. So both.
And that's why, if you're listening out there, you have to support independent music. If you like any of the artists I play, most of them have Bandcamp, and you can get a song from as little as 79 pence, or you can download, stream, or buy physical copies. And that all goes back into helping musicians continue to record, to write, to buy the equipment, to get the insurance, to get in the car, to go and do gigs, because it's very difficult. And it's not just musicians who are independent, that's right the way across the board. Musicians are struggling with venues that want to charge you so you can play. They take a huge percentage of ticket sales. So it is important that people understand that we don't want just rich people being able to make music.
Right. Completely agree with that.
Yeah. You're nodding, yeah.
Yeah.
Nodding. It was great that I heard you first off on Neil's show. I have to say thank you to Neil March, who's awesome on Exile FM, and I know that I hear something on his show. He'll hear something on my show. Del Islington made all these other shows that play great music as well. So it's good that it was good that I went, oh, my ears went, oh, what's this? As I was tuned in. So it was great to get that introduction. So if people want to find out more,
and just
sorry, go on.
Let me do something so that I really like your music, because I found you in his show too, and your song "Happy." It's such a brilliant tune. I love that one. So I just wanted to say that because you have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. I might leave this bit in the interview.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it on loop, John.
And Neil is amazing. He's also amazing, and his band and everything he does. You're all amazing people. I'm really lucky to be talking to you. Really am.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So we're gonna end the interview with "Oh Well." If people want to support you, it's Bandcamp, or it's just type in John Serrano, and we'll leave all the links on the website. But you've got your Instagram, you've got Bandcamp, and people will be able to find you all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm everywhere.
And can I just ask, is Serrano, because my friend was called Pip, Jose Serrano, but I never asked him at the time, but is Serrano more or less like Smith is for Brits? Is it quite a name that's everywhere?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think it's for a family or some. It's like Smith. It's just a last name. It doesn't mean anything.
All right. I just checking. Lovely. It's really lovely to talk to you, John.
I could be wrong. Maybe someone called Serrano. It's like, oh, how can you say this? You're parts of my family. Well, I don't know. Just call me. Maybe I'm royal or something.
You
Yeah.
could be one of his relatives. It's fantastic to talk to you. We're going to end the interview with your track, so you can do the introduction to your song.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me again. This is brilliant. I love your show and your music. And yeah, the song is it was and it will always be for my grandmother who passed away this year. And you know, it's just beautiful that I get to connect with people with this one song, because I think it has a good impact on them, and it does have a great impact on me. So thank you for that. It means a lot.